Late in 2009, a surprise phenomenon happened. Paranormal Activity arrived, and on a tiny budget, nearly grossed $200 million and would spawn a franchise of 7 films. At this point, people coming out of the screens were consistently split. Some called it the dumbest thing they had ever seen, while others felt it was an effective and good horror film. Hi, I'm Shawn. I am 1/3 of the What the Bleep crew, and I like this franchise. It does take a level of buy-in that is not for everyone, but if you can buy into it, you will find that it is fun and creepy. This Halloween season, I wanted to do a countdown list, and I thought it would be fun to count down and rank the Paranormal Activity sequels. But first, some ground rules. This is my opinion, and my opinion only. And if you don't agree, that's okay. I really do love ranking things, and if you do too, please share your rankings. But please, if you're going to do that, do it in a kind and considerate way. We can have a good dialogue on the internet. And with that, Number 6. Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension. As the 6th film in the franchise, and the first one to boast being able to see the activity, a new family has moved in, and they find a super-de-duper-de special camera that allows them to see what good old Toby is up to. And what he is up to is convincing a child to go back to the past through a wall portal and give him a human body. Yeah, this is the biggest lore dump of the entire franchise, and a lot of it's told through people recording themselves watching old VHS tapes. And even as the biggest VHS lover out there, I find it boring. On top of that, so much of the mystery is taken away by being able to see Toby goo himself around this house. The movie is ridiculous and not really good. Even for the most devout fans, like me, this one just misses the mark. Number 5. Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin. This is the weirdest one of the franchise, and not just because it's the only one that was streaming exclusive. It's a soft reboot in a way, as outside of name and the format, it doesn't really tie into any of the other ones. Margot has found her family, and as it turns out, she's kinda Amish. So what does she do? Well, take 2 of your friends and go film a documentary about your roots. And what are those roots? Well, she finds out they are not great, to say the least. Turns out something weird is going on. I know. Shocking. And things might be more spooky here than originally thought. This one feels so unlike the others, as while it's a found footage, everything looks more professional. It borrows from other films, but still, when it has scares, they are effective. But those aren't really often enough. It's not really bad, it just kind of is there. And even when all is revealed in the end, and we learn what is really going on this farm, it just doesn't stick the way I wanted it to. Paranormal Activity 4. After the success of the first 3 movies, the cracks began to show with the 4th outing, as the box office dropped from the 3rd and was the last in the franchise to gross $100 million. This was also the first to have a new family, not related to our previous outings. The movie is more of the same. Weird things start happening, so they set up cameras to try to capture the activity. But this time, they show the scariest thing anyone could imagine. The Xbox Kinect.
Connect for Xbox 360.
Honestly, this one isn't necessarily bad. It's just boring. It's the most we've done this before of the franchise, and with such little innovation and the lore becoming more weird than interesting, this was the first time I found myself getting a little tired of the franchise that I had found myself loving. Catherine Newton, however, is absolutely the highlight and would become the biggest actor from any of these films. Paranormal Activity 2. How do you follow up an unexpected success? Well, you do it all again. 1 year after Paranormal Activity hit theaters, a sequel arrived. And while it has its moments, it definitely feels inferior. Following the sister of Katie, Christy, we see what happened in the months leading up to the original film. Christy had a new baby. Her and her sister were haunted by something in their youth, and nobody believes this traumatized child. The use of the front door, the stairs, and the pool all lead to fun "did I see something?" moments, and giving us some small tidbits of the lore of this unknown thing all make for a decent follow-up. Even if I don't love all the decisions of the story, and at times it tries to do a little too much, it does work and did keep me excited for what this franchise would become. Man, Toby really doesn't like clean pools though. Dirty freak. Paranormal Activity, The Marked Ones. It is interesting that the one Paranormal Activity that is mostly in Spanish was written and directed by this white fella, but Christopher Landon, who would go on to make films like Happy Death Day and Freaky, puts together one of the more interesting ideas in the franchise. By leaving the haunted house vibes behind, we move to more just normal life. We follow Jesse and Hector, two teens who do, well, teen things. And when something weird happens to Jesse, at first they think it may be a blessing and maybe a superhero thing. But quickly things go real bad, and Hector is in for some tough times. The film does border at times on a bit of, well, why are we filming this? But it tells a separate story that ties into the overall paranormal storyline, with our first time travel moment that the Ghost Dimension would really lean into. All in all, it's these sort of films that I wish the franchise had leaned into after 4 began to wear down the haunted house concept. Still, it stands out as one of the better in the franchise. Paranormal Activity 3. What is it with me and loving the third movie in franchises? But what can I say? This movie scratched the itch of what I like about this franchise. Set way in the past, young Katie and Christy are dealing with weird things happening. And new cool stepdad, Dennis, is on the case trying to figure out what is going on. The thing about this one is the scares are effective, and you can tell the jump in quality of filmmaking from the previous 2. Whether it's the Bloody Mary scene, the kitchen explosion, or the sheet, little effective things help elevate this film. Even the lore stuff, it's more subtly placed, unlike how it can really bog down the later sequels. This one understands you want to see good old Toby do silly little things around the house, but you don't necessarily want to know all the reasons he does silly little things around the house. All in all, it hits what I love about this franchise and delivers some of my favorite moments. And that is why it is number 1. Thank you all for watching. This is one of those franchises that isn't necessarily good, but I get a kick out of watching and talking about them. But what would your ranking be? Let me know in the comments below, and have a spooktacular Halloween.